What's up, everybody? So excited to come to you today with another episode of the Secret Sauce by Realtor Playbook. Today I have Jessica Estes, a KW agent out of Boise, Idaho. Absolutely crushes it. Just love her mindset. And she specializes in VA loans. 90% of her deals have come from veteran clients. And she wanted to hop on here and share her secret sauce about why the VA client is misunderstood, why maybe it's a great time to market to them, and some ideas to market to them. So super excited to have her on. But first, Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty, so excited to have you here on the Realtor Playbook. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Would be happy to connect with you, and hopefully me bringing these other stud agents on and sharing their secret sauce will help you grow your business and win every single day at the game of real estate. All right, what's up, guys? We have Jessica Estes here. She's a realtor from Boise, Idaho, and she specializes in VA transactions. She's done 90% of her deals have come from the veteran group, and just such an underserved piece of our market and us as realtors. And I know coming off these last couple of years of very high competition and things, the VA loan has kind of gotten a bad rap, which unfortunately it's the best loan product out there. So Jessica wanted to come on and just kind of talk about the VA clients that she serves and why it's such a great time to capitalize. So Jessica, thanks so much for coming on. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So excited to have you. And Jessica and I are an Arte syndicate together, amidst other, commonalities like 75 hard and all that stuff. So super excited to dive in with you. So first I want to kind of ask you, what's the most important thing to know about serving VA clients from your experience?
So you have to understand what the VA loan actually encompasses and how to write your offer so that the seller doesn't have to pay all the fees that the VA is not allowed to pay, right? Your VA client's not allowed to pay. They're not allowed to pay the closing escrow fee, and they're not allowed to pay the tax service fee. Mm-hmm. And they're also not allowed to be charged a transaction fee as well. So if you usually push your transaction coordinator fee off to your clients, your VA client is not allowed to pay that, either buyer or seller. But the biggest misconception, I think, is the fact that when you are accepting an offer from a VA person, there has been this misnomer about, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to pay so many extra fees and all this other stuff. Well, even if you did have to pay extra fees, it's like $800. So if it's not an absorbent amount of cost. And when you go and write your contract, it's up to the lender. Some of the lenders will eat that money. So, there are some lenders that won't, but you have to make sure, talk to your VA buyer and be like, hey, go find a lender and talk to your lenders to find out which ones will waive those fees so that you can write your contract and make it look exactly like a conventional loan minus the down payment.
Right, absolutely. And so that's super important to bring those lenders in, as well as we'll talk about marketing in a little bit. But, if you find those lenders that you can put in front of somebody that says, hey, this is a better deal for you, look at these 3 lenders that I partner with, whatever, I think you're coming from a much better spot, because there's also the, condition of the property, is something that comes up at VA, FHA, Govy loans, USDA. And these are very interesting. So do you want to speak to a little bit about that and anything that you've done to kind of mitigate that fear for the sellers on the other side, or the seller's agent that maybe isn't so educated on the VA process?
So honestly, the biggest difference is the fact that you can't have any exposed wood. Your roof has to be within 3 years. And there's nothing dangerous about the property. So it's very, very similar to an FHA loan. And so what I've told, okay, you're putting in an offer, and if the sellers are iffy about it, then you can say, hey, listen, my buyers are willing to slap up some paint or whatever to make it pass the appraisal. So this is where your inspector comes in too, right? If your inspector knows the VA standards, they'll be able to call all that crap out within the first 5 days of the transaction. And then your buyer can work on negotiating with the seller, hey, this isn't going to pass the appraisal. Let's figure out how we can get this fixed. And then you won't have any appraisal problems. So getting your inspector also on board with the VA standards is huge, where a lot of agents are like, they'll just take a VA client and not know, like, hey, there's all these other options that you have to better serve your VA client.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. The community, having people on board, having an inspector be able to put that in a report as, you know, a health and safety item, which is what the VA sees those things as, and the FHA loans as well. So that's great stuff. Why is it a good time to market to VA clients right now?
Because VA loans are assumable, right? So there's a huge number of VA sellers out there that are sitting in a good spot to have their loan assumed. So like I'm in the middle of one right now. Their loan is for like $375 and we put their house up for $410. What happens is you have to qualify for the loan, and then the buyer has to pay the difference between the loan amount and the asking price, right? Well, they can assume that loan and it's at 275 interest rate. So they're saving like $1,000 a month just on the interest rate alone. And so it's helping my sellers out. So if you have a veteran seller and they're kind of in a hard spot, they're like, hey man, I need to get rid of this house. What can we do? That's what you can advertise. Now you have to make sure that it's a VA buyer that comes in. Anybody can assume a VA loan, yes. But if you want it to be a VA buyer because of the entitlement issue with their VA loan. If your seller's in a super hard spot, then yes, anybody can go and assume that loan. He just won't be able to use his entitlement again to buy another house.
Right. And that's super important. And, you know, there's a 0.5% fee on the front end is all that is. So if you're saving $1,000 a month, that is definitely an option there in some markets. And in our market, the appreciation is so wide right now that it's really hard for some of those to, you know, come up with that. Because one of the benefits of a VA loan is that you can come with zero down technically. So, but That's awesome. Yeah. The assumability. And I see in our market, we're able to get people under contract because we're not competing with 10 offers, you know, so you really have to, you know, just compete with yourself, right? Or maybe another offer. And then that's all of a sudden it's coming back. It's kind of like the builders, right? They're starting to come back and be a little nicer to real estate agents. But now the VA loan is, you know, listing agents are definitely more willing to accept that. So I love that. Yes. And the assumability is great. Marketing on both ends, right? You're marketing on the list end and the buy end. If you can find those VA loans that have people that need to get out. Cool. And so, you know, you've said you've done 90% of your, you know, transactions to VA veteran buyers and sellers. What's the best marketing technique that you've used to convert these clients?
My biggest thing is, so because I'm retired Air Force, so I have lots of, my sphere is very military heavy. And my biggest thing is I'm getting out there and answering questions for veterans and showing that I am the most knowledgeable agent that will be able to assist them with their purchase or sale and will understand their benefits. I understand their benefits because I have the same exact benefits and I've used those benefits. But my biggest thing is I want to be able to help other agents also better serve veterans, because I'm not going to be able to help everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to be able to empower other agents. I don't care what brokers they're from. Like, hey, let's help these guys, you know, buy and sell property.
Right. That's awesome. And very giving of you, right? Giver's gain there for sure. And that's the thing is we always talk about client avatars and your ideal client and all this stuff. There's such a niche there. And newsflash, military people might move a little bit more than the average human. So opportunity is definitely something that comes into play. So I appreciate that so much. Jessica, if somebody's looking for you, where can they find you to connect with you on socials and that kind of stuff?
So my Instagram is Jessica_Estes1. I'm Homes by Jessica on Facebook. I locked that one down years ago.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, I have just a regular Homes by Jessica .kw.com on the internet.
Perfect. And I'll tag all those links below. But thanks so much for giving us a little bit of the secret sauce, as some agents don't like to share all that good information. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks very much.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was pretty amazing. Thank you so much to Jessica out of Boise, Idaho, for coming on and sharing just a little bit about what she has done to be such a successful agent up there in Boise, Idaho. As always, we always talk about this VA, versus conventional buyers, and VA buyers are absolutely someone that you should be marketing to every single day and kind of grow your educational bandwidth and make sure that you're understanding what you're doing to serve them as they served our country so well.